Say, well, that brother Coakley, he talked a lot of shit tonight. He accused Randall Robinson of being an agent, didn't show shit. Well, this, under Randall Robinson's own signature, is his proposal received from the Rockefeller Foundation, stating specifically what he was to do and how much he got to do it. The Rockefeller Foundation has recently undertaken an effort to examine how to expand interest and activity around Africa-U.S. relations. Something wrong with that. If you got the book called The Money Lenders by Anthony Sampson, write that down. Go get that book. Because when this Constituency for Africa project shows up, you need to say 1, 2, 3 questions to them to see if they will be honest with you, for you to know whether these are your true representatives or they're the yokes that I'm showing you they are. And just quickly, in review, this Rockefeller Foundation grant of $400,000. Imagine somebody gave you $400,000 to go around and ask people some questions. Here's the questions. Now, $400,000 could finance a lot of things too. But they don't put up money to do things. They put up money to know things. And the things they want to know are, when are the niggas going to get us back? Right. We've done a lot to them. We know they're coming. Randall, go check them out on the African thing. Do they mean revolution? Can we co-opt them? Will they go for a grant, be on C-SPAN? Please complete and return this questionnaire to the Greater Voice for Africa Project, Trans-Africa Forum, 545 8th Street. Well, they just got a new headquarters. That's what the big C-SPAN thing was about. They just got new headquarters. It was built primarily by the Reebok Foundation. Pumps the British flag, the symbol of all colonialism. But morality is not what they're about. Please categorize your organization. Actively interested in U.S.-African relations? Potentially interested. What is your organization's primary focus? Well, the first question alone should never be answered to a Rockefeller, because he never met a black man for a black man that he wouldn't crush. So to tell him what your purpose is, for $400,000, what is he paying $400,000 for? For someone to go out and find out what everybody's purpose is. What does he know when he knows your purpose? He knows your temperature. Your temperature tells how sick you are of white supremacy. How interested is your organization in mobilizing its constituents around African-related issues? How interested are you in mobilizing around Africa? Randall, why are you asking the people that? Randall, if you had $400,000, if you just knuckle Rockefeller and passed $200,000 of it off and just took $200,000 less to be Judas, said, pick him out for me, Judas. How interested is your organization in mobilizing its constituents around African-related issues? Not very interested? Very interested? Somewhat interested? Please elaborate. How much media coverage of African-related issues affect the level of interest in Africa among your constituents? How many efforts have your organization undertaken to increase the level of interest in U.S.-Africa relations? Well, if they had asked me, and I was playing a game with them, because I never allow myself to be questioned or ventilated unless we're in a live dynamic and they can't stop my answers. Like being on the radio live or TV live. In fact, I really don't do TV unless it's cable and a black person's hosting it, because we don't go to white TV. We don't allow whites to question us. We don't seek their questions. We don't seek to answer through them. We find using them no value to us at all. We don't want to legitimize them while we use them. Therefore, we don't use them. We can reach each other if we choose to. You will come if you want to. And we change dances without a declaration because we want to every 3 months, so we can change our minds if we can change our dances. Check. Check for those of you. Check for those of you who are here for the first time means I understand. That was a contribution from Brother Maurice here. Maurice. Check. The people are checking all over. What types of African-related activities does your organization conduct? Policy education, public education, advocacy? Please elaborate. You can see, without me having to go through the rest of this, that if you answer this, and you say like in 1983, I fought Lazar Ferrez Investment Banking Company, which was dominating municipal finance in Chicago, and I fought its sister, hateful South African corporation Solomon Brothers, for having a disproportionate amount of influence on a new black mayor, Harold Washington. Now, if I put that down there, and they're the people whose money is interlocked with Lazar Ferrez and Solomon Brothers, I would have, in effect, fingered myself. Now, just a little update. Since we had done that in the past, my update to that is, recently, Randall Robinson gave a speech at a hotel in Washington, D.C., where he proudly announced that his study was so influential that he gave it personally to David Rockefeller, that he would not give it to any staff person who would belittle it, that Rockefeller himself took the whole damn thing in his hands. Now, I suggest to you that Rockefeller is anti-South Africa because in that book, The Moneylenders, in the chapter called The Eye of Apartheid, the eye, the center, the core, the whole of apartheid, it opens up with a replay of the Sharpeville Massacre, which just had an anniversary. Well, when the Sharpeville Massacre came down, and South Africa straight up brutalized, murdered, and shot down black liberation, Chase Manhattan, by itself, came to the forefront of the financially strapped South African government. And when all the world was ashamed and too cautious to assist it, Chase stood up and gave South Africa a $40 million loan. This loan was a bridge of confidence from Rockefeller